Good afternoon. Today I want to talk about something that we all should know, and we all need to know as van lifers. As van dwellers, we often must assert our constitutional right protecting our mobile homes, our vans from unreasonable searches and seizures, harassment, and illegal evictions. These rights are rooted in the Fourth Amendment, and it includes requiring a warrant for searches and the right to refuse voluntary questioning. You do have the right to not answer questions. You do, of course, have to show your license and registration, proof of insurance if you were pulled over. But as far as questioning, you can just say, I do not consent to a search. I do not answer questions, which is essential to assert your rights, as consent must be given voluntarily, not through intimidation or coercion. Warrant exceptions, of course. If they have a warrant, there's nothing you can do. Police may legally search without a warrant only if there is probable cause. That means the smell of illegal substance or something they can see that's creating imminent danger or something else illegal. An automobile exemption. Vehicle is mobile and likely contains contraband. Vehicles versus home, although vehicles have low expectation of privacy. A van used as a primary residence complicates this, often strengthening argument against warrantless entry. The trick question: police may ask for consent to search. If they ask you, just say no. Say, I'm not letting you search my vehicle. I don't give you consent. They're not required to inform you that that you have the right to refuse. If officers do not have probable cause or a warrant, you have the right to politely but firmly decline search. You could just say, no, you can't search my vehicle. I'm not giving you the right. Okay? You have the right to refuse voluntary questioning. They're asking, where are you going? What's going on? I don't answer questions. Sorry. You can ask, am I being detained or am I free to go? That's an important one. Am I being detained or am I free to go? If they say you're being detained, you do have the right to remain silent and refuse voluntary questioning by law enforcement, only needing to identify yourself if legally being detained or arrested. And you can ask again, am I being detained or am I free to go? You can determine if you're required to stay. If you're not, you should politely leave. Key rights, generally guidelines, voluntary encounters if not detained. You're not required to talk to the police. You're not required to answer any questions. The only thing you need to do is present ID. They insist, you could say, I'm going to remain silent and I want a lawyer. If you feel uncomfortable, do not physically resist, even if you feel your rights being violated. Just go along with it. If they're trying to get in your vehicle, say, look, I'm not giving you consent to search and I'm not answering your questions. If you're being detained, simply say, I need to speak to a lawyer. If stopped, you must show your license, registration, and proof of insurance. But you do not have to consent to a search of your vehicle, so don't do it. Expectation of privacy. Although reduced compared to a house, legally parked vehicles used for habitation retain a reasonable expectation of privacy, limiting police entry. That means anything in your vehicle is private. Unless they have a warrant, they can't search your vehicle. If they see something illegal, it's a different story. Motorhomes, vans, trail, all same thing. They possess a reasonable expectation of privacy under the Fourth Amendment, which limits police entry. Although the expectation is reduced compared to traditional homes, while police can often search a vehicle without a warrant, an automobile exception due to its mobility, this exception does not automatically apply to a vehicle parked on private property or used as a residence. But this right is eliminated when a vehicle is used for habitation or vehicular residence recognition. Some jurisdictions, an RV, boat, van used as a temporary or permanent shelter can be treated as a home. making warrantless entry to search equivalent to breaking into a home, habitation, or private property. If a vehicle is parked on private property, like a driveway, and used for living, it is protected under the Fourth Amendment as part of the homes and the police limitation on action. Police generally cannot enter such a vehicle without a warrant or your consent. So we're back to that. Just don't give consent. That's all. Just don't say, no, I'm not letting you search. Now, if a police officer looks through your window and you legally parked RV and sees illegal activity or evidence in plain view, this may establish probable cause for search or seizure, and they're able to bypass the warrant. So make sure you don't have anything illegal showing, and just refuse any kind of search. Once again, you do have a Fourth Amendment, and I'm going to continue this on another video. So I just want to thank you for watching. I hope you learned something. If you feel something was valuable or I was interesting, just hit subscribe and like. We'll see you in our next video.